Homemade pie. Can you make homemade pie with a store-bought crust? Not really. Let's make a pie that's worth the calories. And then let's do cool stuff with the pie crust, not just your average pie. Okay, so we're gonna make pâte brisée. Pâte brisée is just the fancy French way of saying an all butter pie crust. And in our case, we're going to make enough pie crust for 2 discs of dough. That means the bottom crust and the top crust. Or you can make 2 pies that require just the bottoms. Or you could do some other really cool things with pie crust or pâte brisée, and I'll show you some of that too. Let's get started. This is a food processor. I'm sure at this point most people have this, but if you don't, I'll show you how to do it by hand without one. We'll do that with the next batch. 2 sticks of butter, very, very, very cold, cut up into pieces just to be able to throw into our food processor. 2 2/2 a cup of all-purpose flour, again, best quality that you can. 2 tablespoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. We're going to use about half a cup of ice water. Now, I measured out my water and then I put ice in it. The ice has started to melt because I was fiddling with the camera, so I'm actually going to remeasure that before I use it. Here we go. In first, make sure everything's locked down. In first goes our flour. Our dry ingredients, salt, sugar. We want to make sure that's mixed up so we don't leave any spots where there's a big blob of sugar or anything like that. Okay, I'm doing this backwards so that you can conceivably see. I've never done this backwards in my life, so we'll find out how this goes. We're going to spread our very nice cold chunks of butter all around. Okay, we're going to snap our lid back on. There we go. And we're going to just pulse. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to just take the water out, the ice out. Make sure we're just a hair over now. Half a cup. And we're going to drizzle it right in, all the way around. And we're going to pulse. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to stop there. And what we're looking for is to be able to reach in, pick up some of our dough and squeeze it with our fingers. If it holds together like this, you're done. We're ready for the next step. Huh? Okay. I'll clean this up and I'll show you the next step. Okay. We're going to spill this out. It's very crumbly. You would not imagine that this would actually form a dough, but it will. I promise. Let's get our blade out. Make sure there are no good parts left in here. There's butter left on the blade. I don't want to lose any of this butter. The blade is incredibly sharp, so please be careful. Not worth the risk. Okay. We're going to use our bench scraper. And we're just going to start to pull forward towards ourselves and then in. And we just flatten out just a little bit. Over, down. Okay. Bring our happy little pile back in. And I'm going to press down just a bit. Just a little. Okay. Over. Press down. And it's going to start to hold together. We want to handle it as little as possible. But by flipping it over this way, we are creating some of those flakes that we'll appreciate having later. Okay. Pull together again. Press down. We are not kneading. Absolutely, emphatically not kneading. Okay. We're just literally making layers. Okay. That's all we have to do. We bring it completely together as neatly as we can. Divide it in half. Get some plastic wrap. I don't know if you can see me. All right. Okay. And we're going to wrap up. Now here's what I like to do. I press it down and I form a disc. It cools faster, and it starts when you're going to roll it out, it's already flat. You're not dealing with a big giant cold lump. We get the other. No child left behind. Okay. Flip it over. And that's it. We're going to refrigerate this at least an hour and a half. I like to go, if I can go overnight, so much the better. If I can't, I try to do at least 90 minutes of chilling. You're going to find that you get a better result. Your butter is nice and cold, and you can actually see the chunks of butter. I don't know if you can. Let's hold that up. Can you see that? I'm going to put this in the fridge. I'm going to reset up and show you how to do this without a food processor. See you shortly. And we're back. This time, we're going to do it in this bowl. I love this bowl. I got it at an estate sale almost 20 years ago. And it's my favorite dough bowl. And I absolutely adore this thing. And because I've had it for so long and it's risen so many loaves of bread, bread rises really fast in this thing. Just a cool little side note. All right, forget that for the moment. Here we have the same, I'm covered in flour, sorry. Here we have the same amount of flour we had before, 2 2/3 cups of flour. We have 2 sticks of butter. We have our salt and our sugar and a fork. Okay, so we're going to pour in our salt and sugar, and we're going to mix that up. Again, so we don't have any spots that have all the salt or all the sugar in it, because that would be terrible. All right, and then this time we're going to cut our butter smaller. Okay, so I'm using my dough scraper. Let's move all this stuff out of the way. And we're just going to cut it much smaller. Because leaving it big is just going to create more work for us than we need. So I am cutting it teeny tiny so that I can just get this through in one lump sum. Actually, the opposite of one lump sum. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to put our dry ingredients in this bowl, and then we're going to add our butter. This is a pastry cutter. You can also do this with 2 forks. 2 forks is about as miserable as you can possibly get doing this, but it will work. You just have to really want the pie. All right, and so we're just going to press down and work the butter in with our pastry knife. And as it sticks inside these blades, we're just going to, with our fingertips, push it right back out. And what we're going to look for is for our butter to be in tiny pieces. I guess like the size of a pea. And this is going to take a little bit of work, and it's 100 degrees outside. And while we do have air conditioning running in here, give me a break. I'm a menopausal woman. All right. Spin the bowl so you're not hitting the same parts over and over again. And then slide, be careful, you don't want to cut your finger. It's not that it's super sharp, but it definitely, if you give it a good squeeze, it'll cut you. Okay, we're almost there. keep moving the bowl and rock. See, I'm putting it down and I'm rocking forward and then pulling back. That cuts the butter twice. Knock this off again and take a peek at where we are. Okay, to do that, I'm picking it up. This is the size of the butter we have now. Let's see. We're about there right now, which is pretty close to where we want to be. I'm going to pinch it between my fingers, just any of the big pieces that are left, and I'm going to turn them into a sheet so they're flat like that. The rest I'm going to leave in their cute little pea form, just as we had already made them. So only big giant pieces that were left behind will I squish with my fingers into a sheet. Okay, we're ready. Again, we're going to take the ice out. Whoop, I missed one. We're not going to put all the water in this time. I'm going to hold back about a tablespoon. And I'm going to use my fork. And I'm just going to spread that water through. And I'm scraping the bottom and coming all the way up. And you see, we're getting these dough clumps. Okay? Now let's squeeze and see if it holds together. It holds together, but it falls apart pretty quickly. So we're going to take the last of that just to make sure we needed it. Get this off my finger. Yes, I'm sweating. I'm 54 years old. Mother Nature's being mean to me. That's okay. That's okay. All right. That's it. This will hold together, and we're exactly where we were when we emptied our mixer bowl. And I'm going to clean this up, and you know what? Let's just do it. I'm going to put it right out onto the board, just like we did when we emptied the food processor bowl. Just like before, we're just pulling it together and giving it a little pressure. We're not kneading it. This is not bread. We're not doing that at all. So we're going to pull it together with our bench scraper. And we're going to come over, press down, over. And we're again making those flakes. Press. Now we're going to pull together again. Hold on one second. Unpleasant. I'm not cutting it out. I'm not editing it out because this is real life. We're going to do it one more time, all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And then we're going to gather it up again. We're going to cut it in half. Uh-oh, we're not. We want it to be as close to even as possible when we cut it in half. Okay. Now, because this was done by hand and not in a food processor, it's a little looser. Fear not, the minute it's wrapped up and it completely hydrates in the fridge, it's going to be exactly the same. You'll see. Even these little loose pieces, you know what? You can stay there. I feel like I have a little more than I should here. Waste not, want not. My hands are spotlessly clean. Okay, we're going to turn it over and press down. When we come back to this, it's going to be just as solid as the one that we did in the food processor. Okay. Now we don't want to leave any of this. It will absorb, I promise. What's missing here is the hydration. That was easier to do in the food processor. Okay, into the fridge, no less than 2 hours.